Welcome back to another episode of the Find Food Freedom Podcast. This is your host, Sam Previtt. I'm really excited you're here. I'm excited to talk about Halloween. I'm excited to talk about all the things. But I cannot stop laughing, maybe shaming myself. I don't know. I feel like I'm giving very much so boomer energy right now, and nothing against my boomers. I absolutely love you. But usually boomers are known for not knowing technology really well. And so my webcam broke a few weeks back. It was messing with my podcast recordings. It was making the mic pick up like a clicking noise. I ordered a new webcam. Now it's like one of these high-tech webcams that like when you move, it moves. You can turn that feature on and off. I'm trying to figure that out. It also sounds like my computer's going to explode, but we are on a time crunch, people. And the reason why is because I'm recording this podcast on a day that my 1.5-year-old is home and she's napping. And I was laughing because I feel like it's like a mix of boomer energy. And then have you seen the TikToks that are like a typical dad crash out? They're probably like my favorite things, but it's like dads trying to figure out technology. Specifically, it's like in families that have a lot of daughters, and he's just like, "You guys do fucking nothing, gonna keep fucking do everything." I feel like I'm like a dad crashing out slash boomer energy right now because between this new webcam situation here, as well as do any of you feel like you're just paying Apple unbelievable amounts of money for storage? Like, and I think partly because I have two toddlers, right? Like, I thought I took a lot of pictures when I just had a dog. Now you should see my camera roll between having two kids, plus a cute Frenchie, plus my entire work is virtual. Like, any video you see of me, right, with B-roll footage, like that video is on my camera roll, and it was a lot longer before I cut it down to 10 seconds. I just feel like I don't know how to organize or deal with the technology upgrades, updates. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm asking for. But if you're somebody who's like virtually savvy, you're good at editing, you're good at recording, you're good at chopping videos. I don't know. I just feel like I need somebody on the Find Food Freedom team who is tech savvy. Like I need you to teach me your ways. I don't know what I'm asking for. But if you're hearing this and you're like, Sam, you need some help, please shoot me a DM. I would love to hear from you. And speaking of DMs, we're gonna roll right into the Find Food Freedom win of the week this week, which I'm super pumped. This was a direct message that I got this weekend. And I always love messages like this because don't get me wrong, I love hearing from clients. I love hearing from people we work with, and have massive impacts on their life. But this is somebody who they're not a client of ours, and yet we're still able to really like have touch points with them, and it's just so special. So this is a DM I got from this past weekend. They wrote thank you in all caps with a bunch of exclamation points. I must share that when I first stumbled on your page, I was totally triggered when you were eating delicious things dot dot dot, but I stayed around. Your content is so, so, so good for my soul. I am probably 3-ish years into my healing from a lifetime, I'm 45, of diet culture trauma, and the world is so much brighter because of you. Even though I'm not an official client, you and your page were key point for me to start on this journey. I now look forward to seeing the delicious, yummy things that you enjoy and all of the healing nuggets that you drop here. Thank you for all that you do. So, first of all, thank you to this person that sent in this DM. The Find Food Freedom win of the week is something I do on every episode. And to be honest with you, it brings me so much joy. And I actually talked to a lot of dietitians about this past weekend. So last week I was in Nashville for FNCE, which is like this massive dietitian conference expo. Um, and it was really great because there were over 7,000 people at this conference, right? It's massive. And if you're someone who follows along in our online community, you might feel very connected to me, right? Because you listen to the podcast, maybe you watch the podcast, maybe you are on our Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is. And I am so grateful for that. And I think something that no matter how many times I say it, it still rings true. And I connected with so many creators and dietitians this past weekend that felt the same is like I right now, like I started off this podcast telling you, I am talking to a webcam. I'm talking to this little freaking box. And behind that little box is screen where I see myself constantly. Lucky me, right? And when I'm making content on my phone, I see myself and I see a tiny little screen. And so when I get these Find Food Freedom wins of the week and I share them with you, it's not about me. Like I can't make that I cannot make that clear enough because sometimes when I read stuff like that, I cringe because I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm like, I'm the best and like, thank me. No, no, no. It's like literally the opposite. I'm actually terrible at taking compliments. That's like something I need to work on. But it's the opposite in the sense of like, it reminds me that there are people on the other side listening. And I know for you, like that might sound weird because if you, again, if you've, and I get it because I do the same shit. Like I have creators or, dietitians or whoever on the internet that I follow and I listen to their content, I listen to their podcast and I just like if I would meet them, I'd be like, oh my God, like you helped me so much. And I get it. Like when people say that to me, but it's like, because I'm the one talking to the little webcam and myself in a freaking box all the time, it's so helpful to see these pieces of feedback from people in our community that what I am saying, what our team is doing is resonating. It's helping you heal. And so I'm so, so grateful for each and every single one of you who reaches out and who lets us know about that. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, like I would love to share with you, please do. It would mean the world to me. You can send me a DM. You can also rate, review, subscribe to this podcast. The more that people do that, the more people hear it and see it and that need it. And then also in the review, feel free to leave a comment of what you want to hear more of, what you're looking for. The more that we hear from you, the more that we can help you. So another little piece of behind the scenes info I want to drop before we get into the bulk of today's episode is get your insurance benefits checked. I share so many Find Food Freedom wins of the week every single week of people that have 100% free coverage with our team. And I cannot stress enough, most people have no idea that they have these health insurance benefits before they go through our checker. We are the ones that check for you. All you have to do is put in your state. We're licensed in over 26 states now. And you put in your insurance plan. If you have Aetna, Cigna, BCBS, United, Anthem, we accept all of those. And most people have no idea that they have these free virtual counseling services with our team. We have over 12 intuitive eating counselors, certified diabetes educators, people that specialize in PCOS, body image, eating disorder. We have people on our team that work with adolescents versus adults. So if you have your children or a teen in your life that needs support, I cannot stress enough, get your benefits checked. You can do that by clicking the link in the show notes. You can go to Instagram, you can go to TikTok, go anywhere that you see Find Food Freedom, and you will find this link. All right. So let's get into the bulk of today's episode where I am staring at massive, massive bags of Halloween candy on the floor. And now, because I am recognizing how hungry I am, my mouth just salivated looking down at the like nerds and Sour Patch Kids. Yes, I am a sour candy girly. Whereas my husband and I feel like others in my family are more of the chocolate and peanut butter people, but not I. Not that I don't fuck with the Reese's. Don't get me wrong. I had like 2 Reese's pumpkins yesterday. The pumpkins, the ghost, those are way better than the original ones where they don't have as much peanut butter, right? They're fluffier, they're better. So I do like those, but if you put in front of me and you said you can only pick one, are you picking a Sour Patch Kid or a Reese's? I'm Sour Patch through and through. I am also a candy corn lover, which I find a lot of people feel very strongly about, that they either hate candy corn or love candy corn. And the Find Food Freedom team, this was one of our icebreakers. Every week we have a team meeting and we had like a candy corn battle where there weren't many of us that liked candy corn. And I was like, damn, I don't know where my candy corn stands are, but I love candy corn. My daughter loves candy corn. This is like her, because she couldn't really have it last year. It was too much of a choking hazard. But now that she's like 3.5, she's, better with her chewing and everything, and she likes it. So I love that we can share that love together. But so let's talk about candy because, it's that time of year where everyone's going to be posting bullshit about how toxic candy is. We got RFK Jr. spewing his bullshit. We got all the Maha people on the top of the hill just spewing the bullshit as I'm sitting here in my office staring at my red hat that I taped Maha letters on. If you know, you know. Okay, so let's talk about the basics with candy. I think we can come at this from a couple different angles. We can come at this from an angle of yourself. And then we can also look at if you have children, how to approach this candy situation. And I often find that when we're talking about, let's say you're listening right now and you're like, well, I don't have kids. I don't really give a fuck about the, candy with children piece of it. But I find that when I go through how to navigate candy with children, oftentimes I'll get the feedback from people of like, wow, that really healed my inner child. Like, I didn't know I needed to hear that. Or, wow, how different would my relationship with food be if I grew up in a home that practiced intuitive eating or allowed candy in the home or all of those things. So I'm really just freeballing today's episode in the sense that like I don't have notes in front of me. I really wanted to sit down and talk about candy and the relationship to it, right? Like we are almost a week out from Halloween to the day, and this is the time of year that diet culture gets so fucking loud because we are about to hit Halloween, Thanksgiving, all of the winter holidays, whichever you celebrate, into the new year, which then we know it's January, where there's all the new year, new you bullshit, right? So it's just like, it is about to get crazy. It's already crazy, right? We're in the Ozempic era. It's everywhere. Heroin chic is back, so we hear. Heavy, heavy, like eye roll when I say that. So it's here. It's not going anywhere. And diet culture is already loud. And now we can add the holiday craziness on top of it. And this is when getting professional support is so important. I cannot stress this enough. Oftentimes, so I've been in private practice now, oh goodness, like almost 10 years. That's crazy, right? 10 years? Yeah, it'll be 10 years next year. Holy shit. That's crazy. Okay. So I feel like, being in practice for this long, I feel like sometimes I'm a broken record of like saying the same thing over and over and over again. But it is so important as we enter this holiday season. I hear from clients or potential clients, they're like, the holidays are here. It's too crazy. I don't want to get support now. I'm going to wait until after the new year when January comes. That's when I'm going to work on my New Year's resolution, or that's, when I'm going to have time for this. I cannot stress enough that right here, right now, like literally in this moment, this is the best time to get professional support. And the reason why is because the holidays add, we could go over 5 million different triggers in diet culture. Like it's like another layer, right? Because I'm just going to throw some out at you. There's more foods around that diet culture calls bad or junk, right? So whether it's Halloween candy, whether it's Thanksgiving carb heavy foods, whether, whatever it is, you're going to more social events, right? So there's going to be more food that maybe isn't on your day-to-day routine, right? You're going to more dinner parties, you're going to more parties in general. You're going to maybe have more events at work or social gatherings. You're going to have more stupid fucking comments from your crazy Aunt Cheryl who's on the keto diet spewing diet culture at you. You're going to have all of these things coming at you 100 miles an hour. And I cannot stress enough that we would be honored. Our team would be honored. Our team or anybody that you need me to connect you with. Maybe it's not our team. Maybe you want support from somebody else. I'm happy to get you that support. But it's so, so important to hear that like getting that professional support right now around your relationship with food, your relationship with your body is so important headed into the holidays because of all the extra triggers. And honestly, we could just like cut the episode right there. Don't worry, we're going to keep going. But I like, if you don't remember anything else, I want you to remember that this is a really good time to get support and kindly remind you that you can either use your health insurance benefits with our team. And if you don't have coverage because we don't accept your insurance plan or we're not licensed in your state, the Find Food Freedom team will give you 1 month of completely free support through our membership where you're going to get 3 live calls. And that could be, all right, it's already the end of October, right? So now that's the whole month of November or the whole month of December or the whole month of January, which are the 3 most triggering months in diet culture. We have free support for you. I never, ever want finances to be the reason that somebody can't get the support that they want or need. That is why we switched from a fully cash pay business to accepting health insurance and then offering the membership, which could, again, people that can't afford, don't have health insurance, whatever it may be, like we are here for you. Okay. So today we have a long lead in to the topic here of Halloween candy. But I want to use myself as an example just because I feel like it's so easy to think about myself when I was entrenched in diet culture and what my relationship to candy was like versus what it is now. And it's a perfect example because let me just get right into it. So, when I was the most disordered, I have perfect I can picture where I was in my childhood home because it was, oh my gosh, yes. I can picture exactly where I was. Where I would say, I'm going to air quotes be good today, right? I am not going to eat the candy today. I am not going to eat the candy this entire month. I am like, I remember saying these things and thinking these things and being like, okay, this is going to be the year that I'm going to do it. This is going to be the year that I won't have the candy or I won't have the carbs or I won't, air quotes, be bad. And because I remember that my mom would like bring candy into the house, right? Like she would have, which again, kudos to her. Like that's a good thing. She, and then we'll get into that with kids. But I remember there's like this pump basket door that she would fill it up. It always had Reese's in it. Um, oh, maybe I'm unlocking some trauma right now. Maybe that's why. Because what I'm going to share with you is that I remember always being like, I can't have what's in there. Like I can't have it. And then I would go take one. And then I would go take another. And then I'd be like, well, fuck it. I already had some. And then I would just like binge on it and then like have a ton. And I would eat it to the point like I remember, I think I'm learning something right now live on air with you is that like I would remember getting to a point with Reese's that they didn't taste good anymore. And this is something that we talk about a ton in session with clients is that when you eat to a place of physical unpleasantness or when you are eating and you are out of control from the point of there's this narrative in your head of like I shouldn't be eating this, I'm such a bad person with for eating this, it creates this urgency, right? Of like, okay, I'm going to eat all of this right now because fuck it, I already broke the rules. I'm going to do it and then I'll be done and then tomorrow I will start over. Tomorrow the diet starts again. Tomorrow I will be good. Like, okay, I'll start again tomorrow, right? And so I remember getting many times to places where Reese's didn't taste good anymore. I ate them to a place of like pleasant up and like it was this like I remember like anger towards my parents, but my mom specifically who did a shop like at her, but being like, I wish you just didn't buy it. Like if it wasn't in the house, then I wouldn't eat it and it wouldn't be an issue. And we like this idea of like, well, if I just don't have it in the house, it's not a problem. And sure, that might work, right? Because it alleviates that trigger or that food, right? That fear food or the food that you feel out of control around. But what happens when you do that has the food? What happens when your kid goes trick or treating and then they bring home a bunch of the candy? What then what? We just avoid And so now, many, 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 many years later, I am sitting here recording a podcast about food freedom as a dietitian, as a certified intuitive eating counselor, as a certified personal trainer. Massive, huge ones. For 195 pieces, it says in each bag, 180 in the other, 195 in the one. These bags, I think, got delivered I think to our doorstep like 2 nights ago. They still haven't been opened yet. And not because I'm sitting here saying, I can't have that, I shouldn't have that. Let's see how I can go without having it. Simply because I'm looking at them being like, I can have it whenever I want it. I have candy year round. This isn't a big deal to me. Sure, Halloween is fun, but it's fun for so many other reasons than the candy. If you come to the little pantry, we have like those little clear, and we have a candy bin where there is always candy in it. There's Sour Patch Kids, there's the chocolate, I'm sure there's still like candy canes in there from last year. Like there's sour worms. I know because I ate them the other. There are so many different candies in there. And it's like the community family candy bucket. And we're allowed to have candy year round. So eating candy, I'm cool, whatever. Like it's just there. And one step ahead of me where you're like, well, wait, you just told us you had candy in the house. So clearly just keep candy in the house enough to make you ding ding. You are and let's so there's the mental restriction and the physical restriction is when if you're it's number one indicator of binging candy, then that would be the equivalent, right? Of okay, while that which is what I would do this every day. It would be a start with I'm going to be good today. I'm not going to eat candy. Today is going to be the day. And by the time I get home and remember, I knew it was there. I was thinking about it all day. I, yep. Then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to have one. Restriction and negative self-talk would start of like, you're such a bad person for eating this. I can't believe you're doing this. You're so disgusting. See, this is why you need to be. See, you're so out of control around food. And it was all of the rules were being broken and all of that restriction. Like I couldn't keep up with the physical restriction. And so then the negative self-talk came in and then it catapulted more and more and more of that. Because I one of Reese's didn't mean I want these. And it was still, and I told you they were unpleasant to a point. Like I got to a point where I didn't even enjoy them, but I was like shoveling. And that is because there was this urgency because of the negative self-talk. So if you're like, okay, I relate to this wholeheartedly, how do I fix this? Well, this is where getting that professional support is so important. I'm not saying you can't do this alone because you can, but it is really difficult and it is really hard. This is where walking through with a professional of how to uncouple belief systems about food, believe that you have unconditional permission to eat, consistently eat these foods and be introduced to them in safe settings where you are hyper aware and don't disassociate like I did and get like out of your body where you're almost not even like tasting the food anymore. There are so many things that we can do to make peace with food. And so I could go on and on and on today about other things related to Halloween candy, but I really want you to know that you deserve unconditional permission to candy year round. And the more that we show that and live that and make that true, the less out of control we will feel around candy. And as we transition this to children, the same rings true for them. Now, this is where I'll get a lot of parents being like, so you're just saying I should let my kids have unlimited candy and they're eating candy for breakfast and lunch? No, kids do need structure. And as the adult and as the parent, it is your responsibility to provide that structure because they are turning to you for food. You are buying the food, prepping the food, cooking the food, offering the food. And so the same goes for candy. So the more that candy is in, well, I told you about our candy bucket. That bucket is always there. Our candy corn, yeah, it's always there. It's available, but I guess I just don't really want it except the fall. It's just like you only want your pumpkin spice latte in the fall. And access to that candy if she wants it. Now it's not down on a level where she can just grab it, not where we talk about implementing that food. One of the bowl video that's kind of going viral right now about how to expose kids to candy. I'm going to link that in the show notes below so you can click that. But she talks about it. It's great. Marie, live it once and then take it away. And I can't, okay, child's relationship with food. Sure. Exposed food, the less out of control we will feel around it. Now, if you are somebody that has physically and mentally been restricting or your household from candy for an extended period of time, I'm talking months, years, it is normal that when we bring this candy into the home, the first thing that's going to happen is, fuck yeah, give me all the candy. Because, of course, if we haven't been able to have it for a really long time, then it gets really exciting and it's this like celebratory binge phase. Please know it's not going to be like that forever. And this is again where I can emotional support is so helpful throughout these holiday months with more of these kind of challenges that are coming up every holiday that ticks by. So first off, just want to thank you so much for bearing with me through this episode. I know it was a long one. We were chatty. I was coming off of my iced coffee, so I was nice and energized for you. And I also want to encourage you and invite you that you to today's episode and you resonate so much to it and you're like, yes, I understand. This makes sense. I don't know what to do with it. It's scary how much I relate. Please, please, please check those insurance benefits. You can click the link in the show notes below. You can go to Instagram, you can go to TikTok. We are here for you. We are here to support you. And again, if you do not have coverage for any reason, we will get a free month with free life. Here's been the thing. grateful you are here with me.